You've been giving your power away your whole life and you didn't even realize it. Every reaction you gave to someone unworthy, every explanation to someone who never understood, every second wasted on people who drain your energy, all of it gone, taken. But today, that ends. In this video, I'll reveal 7 ruthless psychological strategies Machiavelli himself would approve of, methods to dominate without confrontation, win without fighting, and become untouchable simply by choosing when and to whom you reveal your presence. If you follow this, people won't just respect you, they'll obsess over you without you saying a word. Drop this in the comments if you're ready. I am untouchable. Most people live on autopilot. Someone insults them, they react. Someone questions them, they explain. Someone drains their energy, they allow it. They confuse engagement with strength, reaction with control. The truth, real power moves silently. It doesn't explain, it doesn't overreact, it doesn't burn energy on the unworthy. The powerful are selective. They guard their attention like gold. They are strategic, unpredictable, untouchable. Machiavelli understood this over 500 years ago. Power isn't about noise, it's quiet, controlled, and gear. Your attention, like gold. Your attention is your most valuable asset. Not your money, not your skills, not even your reputation, your attention. Every moment you spend reacting to someone unworthy, explaining yourself to someone who will never understand, or investing energy into people who drain you, you are literally giving away pieces of your power. And most people don't even notice. They live their lives like their energy is infinite, like their attention grows back automatically. It doesn't. Every reaction, every word, every second you waste is power lost. Think about it. Every time you respond to a hater, every time you try to explain yourself to a critic, every time you engage with someone who wants to pull you into drama, you are paying with your life force. And what do you get in return? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. The world doesn't reward people for defending themselves. The world doesn't care about your explanations. The world doesn't give a damn about your overreactions. All it rewards is discipline, strategy, and the ability to choose where to invest your energy. Machiavelli understood this. He observed princes, rulers, and leaders who lost their kingdoms not because they were weak, but because they squandered their attention. They reacted to every insult, explained themselves to every doubter, and allowed everyone into their inner circle. Power isn't for the indiscriminate, it's for the selective. It's for those who know, who deserve their energy and who doesn't. So, how do you start guarding your attention like gold? You create a filter. Before you engage with anyone, ask one simple question. Does this person deserve my attention? If the answer is yes, invest carefully. If the answer is no, walk away. Don't explain, don't justify. Don't give them the satisfaction of dragging you into their world. Your energy is a limited resource. Treat it like the most precious currency on earth, because that's exactly what it is. Here's a reality check. Look around you. Who constantly drains your time and energy? The coworker who complains non-stop, the friend who only calls when they need something, the relative who criticizes everything you do? Now, ask yourself, have they ever given you something of equal value? Have they enriched your life, lifted you up, or made your journey easier? Probably not. Yet, every day you give them attention. You respond to their messages. You listen to their complaints. You justify yourself to them. And every time you are handing them a piece of your life force. The powerful don't operate like that. The powerful selectively invest their attention. They show up only where it matters. They respond only when there is value in the exchange. They don't waste a second on people who don't enhance their lives. This doesn't make them cold or selfish. It makes them untouchable. Your energy is your fortress. Your attention is your currency. And like any currency, you don't give it to just anyone. You spend it where it will yield returns. Imagine this. Someone insults you online. Your first instinct is probably to fire back, to defend yourself, to prove you are right. What happens? They get exactly what they wanted. Your reaction, your energy, your validation. You've just enriched them while costing yourself peace of mind. Now imagine a different scenario. You see the insult, you feel it for a moment, then you ignore it completely. You don't engage. You don't react. You don't give them even a fraction of your attention, and suddenly they are the ones obsessing. They wonder why you didn't respond. They check back, hoping to provoke you. And the entire time, you are completely unbothered, living your life unaffected. That's the power of guarded attention. From this moment forward, treat your attention like gold. Filter ruthlessly, invest wisely, protect your energy, because the moment you stop giving it away carelessly, that is the moment you start reclaiming your power. The unworthy are left powerless. The worthy earn your presence, and you become untouchable. Drop this affirmation in the comments. My attention is gold. Silence is your sharpest weapon. People fear silence because they misunderstand it. They think if they don't speak, if they don't defend themselves, if they don't have the last word, they appear weak. They confuse noise with power, reaction with control, words with authority. But Machiavelli understood something that 99% of people still don't. Silence is the most aggressive move you can make. It is the weapon that never misses, the strategy that destroys without a fight, the invisible force that turns the world on its head. Think about it. When someone insults you, your first instinct is to respond. You fire back with words, explanations, justifications. You enter their battlefield on their terms, following the rules of their game. And what happens? You validate them. You give them exactly what they wanted, your attention, your energy, proof that they matter to you. Even if you win the argument, the truth is they still have power over you because you reacted. Now imagine doing nothing. You see the insult. You acknowledge it exists in your mind for a second, and then nothing. No response, no explanation, no validation. Your silence becomes a mirror reflecting nothing back to them, and in that void, they begin to unravel. Humans are wired for closure. We crave answers, explanations, understanding. When someone gives us nothing, when their words vanish into silence, our minds start searching desperately for meaning. We replay scenarios, analyze motives, imagine outcomes. We obsess. And while their brain burns energy trying to decode your silence, yours is free, untouched, untouchable. Silence communicates more than words ever can. It says, "You are not worth my time. You are not worth my energy. You do not exist in my world." And that destroys people far more effectively than any insult, comeback, or confrontation. It's the subtle art of psychological warfare without ever lifting a weapon. You don't attack, they destroy themselves trying to understand you. Here's another layer that most people don't realize. The more you talk, the more ammunition you give. Every word, every explanation, every emotional reaction is a clue about what affects you, what hurts you, what angers you. And people, enemies, critics, manipulators will exploit it. Your words become your weakness. Your reactions become your chains. But silence gives nothing. No vulnerability, no weapon, no leverage. You are untouchable because there is nothing to touch. Machiavelli watched countless men destroy themselves through over-talking, overreacting, over-explaining. And he also saw those who rose to power, the ones who spoke rarely, strategically, and only when it truly mattered. Theirs were words of weight, not filler. Theirs were statements, not noise. People listened because they knew that when these men spoke, it meant everything they didn't speak just to fill the air. Silence isn't absence. Silence is control. It is mastery over your reactions, your energy, and your presence. It is choosing exactly what will impact you and what will pass by unnoticed. And make no mistake, those around you will notice. They will feel it. They will try to fill the vacuum with guesses, assumptions, and obsession. That is power. That is influence. That is domination without confrontation. Let's put this into real life. Someone sends you a hateful message trying to provoke you. You could respond, argue, or insult them back. Most people do. But if you stay silent, if you refuse to give them a reaction, their mind spins. They replay the exchange over and over. They create reasons why you didn't respond. They speculate, they obsess, they try again. Meanwhile, you have moved on, unbothered, calm, untouchable. You have given them nothing, no satisfaction, no validation, no energy. And that emptiness becomes a wound in their mind that never heals. Silence is not weakness. It is your shield and your sword at the same time. It protects you from manipulation while simultaneously dismantling anyone who seeks to provoke you. Master this, and you will find yourself rising above petty arguments, above toxic drama, above the noise of the world. The people who cannot control you will fear your quiet. The people who try to bait you will fail, again and again. Your words now carry weight. Your presence becomes magnetic, and your silence legendary. Speak rarely. Let every word matter. Let every reaction be deliberate. And when the world expects a reaction, give them nothing. Shh. Drop this affirmation in the comments. Silence is power. Withdraw strategically, not completely. Most people misunderstand power. They think disappearing completely, vanishing from everyone's life, cutting ties or isolating themselves is the ultimate form of control. They imagine themselves as mysterious hermits, untouchable because they are absent. But that's not power. That's avoidance. That's running away from the world instead of mastering it. Real power isn't in disappearing, it's in strategic withdrawal. It's the art of being present while remaining untouchable, of appearing and vanishing on your own terms, of making people feel your absence even when you are standing right in front of them. Think about it. Complete withdrawal is simple, it's leaving and never coming back, ghosting someone forever, ignoring everyone. That might hurt or confuse people temporarily, but it doesn't create power, it just removes you from the game. People move on. Life continues. Power comes from being there, but not fully there. From being unpredictable, selective, and unavailable in ways that make your presence valuable. When you are scarce, when you are selective, people notice, they obsess, they wonder, and most importantly, they respect the fact that they can't take you for granted. Machiavelli knew this. He observed rulers, generals, and leaders who maintained influence not by always being present, but by controlling when and where they appeared. Their scarcity made them magnetic. Their unpredictability gave them power. They didn't chase attention, they drew it. They didn't prove themselves constantly. They let their presence speak for itself. And when they withdrew strategically, those around them became unsure, uneasy, even desperate for interaction. That uncertainty is influence. That uncertainty is control. Here's a practical example. Think about someone you are attracted to. Now imagine they text you every hour of every day. They are always available. They respond instantly. They adjust their entire schedule to fit yours. How do you feel after a week? Probably suffocated, maybe even annoyed. Their constant presence removes mystery, removes value, and removes desire. Now imagine the opposite. Someone texts you occasionally. Sometimes they respond immediately. Sometimes they wait hours. Sometimes they make plans. Sometimes they are unavailable. You wonder about them. You think about them. You anticipate their presence. You feel their absence. That is the power of strategic withdrawal. You don't vanish completely. You become unpredictable, valuable, and magnetic. Strategic withdrawal isn't just about romantic interactions. It applies to friendships, work, and social dynamics. The person who drops everything the moment someone calls becomes the backup, the secondary option. The person who shows up selectively becomes the priority. That is how influence works. That is how people learn to chase you, respect your time, and value your presence. The key is control. You engage, but on your terms. You are there, but not fully available. You withdraw, but never disappear. You create absence without losing relevance. Your presence becomes meaningful because it is not guaranteed. Your engagement becomes a reward because it is earned. And your boundaries clear, firm, unyielding become your weapon. The moment you master strategic withdrawal, you turn inaction into influence. You become unpredictable. You become magnetic. People don't just notice you, they crave your attention. They can't manipulate you because your presence is earned, not given. They can't control you because your availability is selective. And they can't replace you because your absence always leaves a void. Shh. Bis. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I choose my presence. The mind-breaking effect of ignoring. There is a weapon more devastating than confrontation, more lethal than anger, and more controlling than words. That weapon is ignoring someone completely. Most people underestimate it. They think ignoring is passive, weak, or uncaring. They think engagement is strength, reaction is power, but nothing could be further from the truth. Ignoring someone, truly erasing them from your attention, is psychological warfare at its purest form, and it destroys more effectively than any argument, insult, or attack ever could. Here's the secret: humans are wired for closure. Our brains are obsessed with cause and effect. When someone acts in a way we cannot explain, our minds cannot rest. When someone disappears, refuses to answer, or refuses to engage, our brain enters overdrive. It starts searching for reasons, creating narratives, imagining scenarios, obsessing endlessly over something we have no control over. And while their mind burns energy, yours remains untouched. That is power. Imagine this: someone sends you a hateful message. They are trying to provoke you, bait you into a reaction, pull you into their world of drama. You could respond, you could argue, you could try to teach them a lesson. Most people do, and by doing so, they give the attacker exactly what they wanted: validation, attention, proof that they matter. Even if you win, the enemy has already won because they pulled you into their orbit. Now imagine doing nothing. You see the message, feel it, then erase it from your mind. You don't respond. You don't react. You don't even acknowledge it exists. And here is what happens: they obsess. They check if you read it. They try again. They create scenarios in their head, imagine hidden motives, question their own actions. They burn hours, days, sometimes weeks trying to understand why you didn't respond. Meanwhile, you continue living your life, calm, collected, untouchable. Their energy is drained. Your energy is preserved. Their mind is chaotic. Yours is clear. Ignoring is more than silence, it's erasure. It's telling someone without words that they don't exist in your reality, that you are not affected by them, that their attempts to control, manipulate, or provoke are irrelevant. This works on everyone: your critics, your haters, your energy-draining exes, your toxic acquaintances. The moment you remove your attention, you remove their power. And powerlessness is painful. It eats at them slowly, relentlessly, and there is nothing they can do about it. Machiavelli saw this in politics and human behavior hundreds of years ago. He watched leaders who reacted to every insult, every rumor, every critic, and he saw them trapped in endless cycles of defense. They spent their lives trying to control narratives, proving themselves to everyone, and exhausting themselves emotionally. Meanwhile, the leaders who ignored attacks completely, those who refused to enter the game of reaction, remained untouchable. They let others destroy themselves through obsession, frustration, and wasted energy, while they stayed calm, strategic, and in control. This is the mind-breaking effect of ignoring. When you refuse to react, when you erase someone from your attention, their mind starts spinning. Their thoughts chase you. Their energy burns on nothing. They cannot predict you. They cannot control you. They cannot affect you. And in that vacuum, you are king. You are untouchable. You are unbothered. Ignoring does not mean being cruel. It means being strategic. It means conserving your energy. It means operating from power, not reaction. You are no longer at the mercy of other people's drama, manipulation, or chaos. You are untouchable because you refuse to enter their battlefield. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I erase the unworthy. Erase the unworthy completely. Power is selective. Influence is deliberate. Your energy, your time, and your attention are finite. And the harsh truth is that not everyone in your life deserves any of them. Some people are not just distractions, they are parasites, enemies, and critics who exist solely to drain you. If you want to become untouchable, you must go beyond ignoring them. You must erase the unworthy completely. There are 3 categories of people who must be removed, each with their own strategy. 1. Enemies. These are the people who actively plot against you, lie about you, sabotage your work, or undermine your progress. They are obvious, but many make the mistake of trying to expose them, argue with them, or prove themselves right. Machiavelli would tell you that engagement is a gift. It validates them, gives them relevance, and keeps them alive in your world. Instead, erase them. Remove their existence from your focus. Don't argue. Don't fight. Don't waste energy defending yourself. Keep thriving. Let your success be their punishment. Watch them stew in frustration while you rise above, untouchable and unstoppable. 2. Critics. These are people who never create, never build, never contribute. They exist only to tear down others. They comment, they complain, they spread negativity, and they live for attention. Most people waste hours reacting to them, explaining themselves, defending their choices. But here's the truth. Critics need you more than you need them. Without you, their entire existence collapses. They have no one to criticize, no target for their energy. Cut them off. Stop responding. Stop feeding them. Let them scream into the void while you focus on your growth. Your achievements make their negativity irrelevant. Your indifference is your ultimate weapon. 3. Energy parasites. These are the most dangerous of all. They masquerade as friends, loved ones, or colleagues. They are quiet, subtle, relentless. They constantly drain you without giving anything in return. Crises, problems, drama, emotional manipulation. And when you attempt to set boundaries, they guilt you, shame you, and try to make you feel selfish. Machiavelli would tell you, protecting your energy is survival, not selfishness. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot protect anyone if you are drained. These people must be erased from your life. Not with confrontation, not with drama, not with justification, but quietly, completely, permanently. Stop responding to their messages. Stop showing up for their crises. Treat them like they are invisible, because to you, they should be. Erasing the unworthy is not cruelty. It is self-preservation. It is strategy. It is creating space for the worthy. Every second, every moment, every ounce of energy you spend on the unworthy is a lost opportunity for growth, influence, and mastery. By removing them, you reclaim not just your time, but your power, your clarity, and your freedom. This isn't easy. Most people are conditioned to tolerate toxic behavior, to explain themselves endlessly, to justify engagement. But the untouchable know boundaries are not optional. They are sacred laws of power. People who drain, manipulate, or sabotage are not part of your journey. Remove them quietly, consistently, and ruthlessly. Your life will change instantly. Your focus will sharpen. Your influence will grow. And the energy you reclaim will allow you to operate on a level others cannot reach. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. Leaders who survived did not waste time with the unworthy. They erased them, mastered their focus, and channeled their energy into growth, strategy, and dominance. You do the same, and your life becomes untouchable. Shh. Greece. Drop this affirmation in the comments. The unworthy do not exist in my life. Build the armor of indifference. The most common reason people get manipulated, controlled, or drained is not because others are strong. It's because they are emotionally weak. They give away their power at the first sign of disrespect, criticism, or drama. They allow external chaos to dictate their mood, their decisions, and their energy. Machiavelli observed this countless times. Rulers and leaders fell not due to swords or armies, but because they lacked emotional armor. Their anger, pride, and need for validation made them predictable, and predictability is vulnerability. That is why the untouchable build what I call the armor of indifference. This isn't about becoming emotionless. It isn't about being cold or cruel. Indifference means absolute control over what affects you. It means choosing which events, which people, which words, which dramas enter your inner world and which do not. It means being unshakable, untouchable, unstoppable. It is the invisible shield that turns attacks, insults, and manipulations into harmless noise. Here's how it works. First, identify your triggers. What makes you angry? What makes you defensive? What makes you feel compelled to explain, justify, or react? These are cracks in your armor. Maybe it's being called lazy. Maybe it's being misunderstood. Maybe it's someone disrespecting your boundaries. Whatever it is, notice it, understand it. Because every time someone hits that weak spot, they gain control over your mind, your energy, and your power. Next, neutralize those triggers, not by avoiding them, but by building complete emotional immunity. Someone calls you lazy, you know your worth. Their opinion has no power. Someone misunderstands you, let them. People will always create their own narratives. Someone insults or disrespects you. Their words reveal their character, not yours. Responding is optional. Reacting is unnecessary. Indifference becomes your default state. Machiavelli saw this in his own time. Leaders who reacted to every slight, every rumor, every criticism became predictable. Their enemies knew their buttons and exploited them. Those who survived, who dominated, built walls around their emotional core. Nothing external penetrated their calm. They moved silently, strategically, and untouchably. You can do the same. Building the armor of indifference is a process. It requires daily reinforcement. Start small, resist reacting to minor provocations. Watch your emotional responses. Question whether each reaction serves you or strengthens someone else at your expense. Gradually, expand your indifference to larger triggers. Control what enters your mind. Control how your body reacts. Control the stories you allow yourself to believe. When chaos arises, remain calm. When insults arrive, remain still. When manipulations target you, remain unmoved. This armor transforms not just how others perceive you, but how you perceive yourself. You stop being a reactive pawn in someone else's game. You stop being emotionally hostage to opinions, criticisms, and attacks. You start operating from power, not reaction. And that power is magnetic. People notice it instinctively. Those who try to manipulate you fail because your state cannot be influenced. Those who test your boundaries fail because your calm is unshakable. And those who attempt to provoke you realize that they are irrelevant in your world. Indifference is the ultimate control. It is the invisible force that ensures others cannot manipulate your thoughts, your energy, or your presence. It is the psychological armor that makes you untouchable. It is the silent, lethal strategy that lets you dominate without confrontation. Shh. Slip this affirmation in the comments. Nothing controls me. Ascend through calculated inaction. Most people think power is about movement, about constant effort, about proving themselves in every interaction. They believe dominance comes from action, aggression, and relentless pursuit. They confuse busyness with influence, effort with authority, and noise with control. Machiavelli, however, understood the opposite. Sometimes the most powerful move is doing absolutely nothing. The art of calculated inaction is the silent strategy of those who ascend without struggle, dominate without confrontation, and achieve influence while others burn themselves chasing shadows. Calculated inaction is not laziness. It is strategy at the highest level. It is patience, restraint, and foresight combined. It is knowing which battles are worth fighting and, more importantly, which are not. It is allowing situations, people, and chaos to resolve themselves while conserving your energy for what truly matters. Most people panic, overreact, argue, or chase every slight and every rumor. They exhaust themselves on battles they don't need to fight. But the untouchable rise by mastering the timing of engagement and the timing of restraint. Consider this. Someone spreads rumors about you. The old version of you panics. You argue. You defend your reputation. You reach out to everyone trying to correct the narrative. Hours, days, even weeks are lost in a futile attempt to control something you cannot fully control. And in the process, your energy, attention, and focus are drained. The new, untouchable version? You do nothing. You live your life. You continue your work. You let the rumors run their course. Those who matter already know your truth. Those spreading falsehoods expose themselves in their own obsession and frustration. And you, untouched, unbothered, ascending quietly while others collapse. That is calculated inaction. The strategy applies in every domain. Competitors copying your methods, rivals trying to outshine you, manipulative colleagues vying for control. They all become irrelevant when you refuse to play on their terms. You maintain your path. You innovate, you grow, you focus on yourself, not their chaos. You do not respond to bait. You do not chase validation. You simply move forward while others expend energy chasing shadows. Inaction becomes your weapon, observation becomes your power, silence becomes your dominance. Here's the key. Calculated inaction turns patience into influence, restraint into control, and absence into magnetism. People begin to notice the difference between those who react to every minor provocation and those who rise silently, deliberately, and untouchably. Your presence, when finally revealed, carries authority. Your voice, when finally used, carries weight. Your success, when finally displayed, is undeniable. And everyone else, they are chasing the wrong battles, burning energy that belongs to you. Machiavelli perfected this centuries ago. He watched leaders who intervened in every argument, defended their every action, and proved themselves at every opportunity only to be drained, manipulated, and defeated. The masters, however, did the opposite. They measured their actions, waited patiently, struck only when necessary, and allowed the world to reveal its weakness. They understood that sometimes doing nothing is more powerful than doing everything. Calculated inaction is not passivity, it is strategic restraint. It is allowing circumstances to self-destruct for your benefit. It is letting others exhaust themselves while you remain calm, focused, and untouchable. When you master this, you dominate silently. You attract attention without chasing it. You shift social dynamics without confrontation. Your absence becomes magnetic. Your silence becomes legendary. Your indifference becomes unstoppable. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I ascend through calculated inaction. You've seen the truth. You've learned the laws that make the untouchable untouchable. You've discovered the dark psychology that separates those who are controlled from those who control. But knowledge alone is not power. It is action that transforms you. Right now, I want you to make a choice. Not tomorrow, not next week. Right now. Will you continue giving away your energy, your attention, and your power to those who do not deserve it? Or will you step into the life of the untouchable? Drop your affirmation in the comments. Speak it into existence. Declare it to the world. I am untouchable. If this video awakens something in you, hit the like button not for validation, but as a signal that you are ready to operate differently. Share this with someone who needs to stop giving away their power. And if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel. This is where the silent, strategic, untouchable rise, where the laws of influence, control, and dominance are revealed. Laws that Machiavelli himself perfected centuries ago. Remember, power is not given, it is taken. Influence is not earned by noise, it is forged in silence. Presence is not created. By chasing it is sculpted through absence. From this moment forward, you control your power, your energy, your attention, and your life. Step into it. Rise above the chaos. Become untouchable. One last time, comment below, I am untouchable. Speak it, own it, become it.